The second half of the Phillies season kicks off tonight in South Philly. What are our expectations for the Fightins? What are the keys to success? And by success, I mean a World Series appearance. We got the Phillies. We've got the Eagles. We've got the Sixers. We got the Open Championship live, second round coverage. Trending in the AM, we're live in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live, YouTube and Twitter. As always, make sure you do me that favor. You hit that like button. You hit that share button. Of course, subscribe. We're at 549 subscribers. The goal is to hit 600 this weekend. So, guys, hit those buttons, like, share, subscribe. It's that easy. And, of course, vote on our daily poll question on YouTube. So if you're watching on Twitter, head to the YouTube page to vote. With 66 games left, how many wins will the Philadelphia Phillies finish with? There's a couple different options there on the page. They are 55-41. How will they finish? That's what we're doing. So like, share, subscribe, guys. I greatly appreciate it. And tell one, tell all. You could turn the radio off and turn Trending in the AM on every single morning right here. I want to fix something here. I don't like having the green on the comments. Or blue. Let's get back to green there. There we go. So let's do it. Let's get into it. What is on the agenda today? Obviously, we have second round coverage of the Open Championship. Who will be the championship golfer of the year? We've got quite a few of my picks in contention this week. So we're really excited. We're really enjoying watching this. And I don't know what just happened to Justin Rose, but I know he had lost his ball. So we're going to follow along with that. We are about to kick off the Phillies' second half of the season tonight. And why do they call it the second half? It's a 162-game season, and there's 66 games left. Anyway, 66 games left. The Phillies are 55-41. Where will they finish the season, win-loss record-wise? And what are our expectations, and what are the keys to success? Also, who is most important for the Phillies? Who has to step up the most for the Phillies to get to the goal, to get to the expectation of the World Series? I think it's a very important question. Phillies, Eagles. Training camp starts on Tuesday. The shoe is starting to fall on the second round picks. Will Andrew Mukuba be signed by Tuesday? I expect that to happen. So we'll see. And then the Sixers will continue the Joel Embiid conversation. And why no one showed any empathy yesterday on the show towards my big guy right there. Bazudenhout. Bazadenhout is how it says. I finally learned how to say it this morning, K1. I was watching him this morning. They said Bazadenhout. Like, oh, that's how you say it for real? It'll always be Bazudenhout to me. Good morning, Rick. How you doing? Hope you are well. Love your first. Who needs to step up for the Phillies in the second half the most? And I love, Rick, that you say Dave Dombrowski. Because, yeah, the keys to success. The most important person in the Phillies organization is Dave Dombrowski. And he's got what? The trade deadline's the 31st, so we are less than 2 weeks away from the trade deadline. He's got 2 weeks to save his reputation, save his job, and make sure this team has the best chance possible to get to the promised land, which is the World Series. Baseball fans suck, I know. I always get so annoyed when they call it the second half of the season. It's the final third of the season, right? It's not even that. I guess somewhere between third and half. My guy, Brian Harmon, with the lead. Screw Mar from Impractical Jokers. He is not winning the Open Championship. Bet Højgaard and double your odds, yeah. Which one? Both Højgaard boys, Nicholas and Rasmus, are both there in the top of the leaderboard. Let's see. Brian Harmon, 6 under. My boy, Terrell Hatton, along with Harris English at 5 under. You got Rasmus at 4, along with Lee. Keegan Bradley's shooting 4 under today so far, up to 3 under. I got a 90-1 bet on him. Justin Rose at 3 under. Bobby Mack at 3 under. Dude, I got a lot of guys that I bet in the top here. Seriously. Very interesting leaderboard. Bryson DeChambeau started the day. He's trying to make a little bit of a run. He was at 7 over. He is now at 4 over. There, he's trying to make it. It looks like the cut's going to be 2 or 3 over. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. I've slightly changed my tune about Embiid. I do feel bad for the guy, and hope he finds peace he's looking for mentally and physically health. Yeah, look. We can have our opinions on Joel Embiid, Rick, the player, whether he's been lazy or not. But when you read the article, you gotta feel a little empathy towards the guy, right? Like I was just shocked at how many people yesterday, not just here, but across the board, had so much hate still towards Joel Embiid. Poured his heart out. Whether it was a controlled environment interview or not, he was as open and as honest as he's going to be. And the guy's never open and honest because of the criticism he faces. So he finally does it, and then he still gets criticized. You got John Kincaid's of the world and other media members still bashing him, saying that this piece was just a fluff piece and another excuse for him. And we wonder why he doesn't open his heart or mind to the fans regularly. It's kind of the angle I was getting at yesterday. Oberg is 4 under today. The guy is due. All Ludwig has to do, K1, is avoid those little stretches like last week. He went bogey, triple bogey, bogey over a 3-hole stretch to play him out of a tournament. He stayed in the tournament, but it played him out of contention. That's Oberg's problem. Every tournament he has a 2 or 3-hole stretch where he just boom explodes. So yeah. That's what he's due. So is Tommy Fleetwood, who's also at 4 under on the day, who's playing himself into this event. Dude, I mean, it's a little early to tell, but I got myself a couple DraftKings lineups that are looking pretty damn good right now. I got a couple right now that have an outside chance of being special. I could separate work from personal. I've only ever been critical of his game. Sounds like he needs to leave the game and focus on himself and family, Joel Embiid. Yeah, he definitely needs, and I read somewhere along the lines yesterday that he has started going to therapy for the mental side of things. Oh my God, Brian Harman just sank a huge long birdie putt to get the 7 under. God damn Brian Harman. But Joel Embiid needs therapy. He needs to speak to someone professionally. And he's 5 under on the day, Brian Harman. God damn. Good luck with that, Steven. But anyway, we will continue talking Joel Embiid throughout the show. I do want to zone in on the Phillies a little bit. The keys to success, the expectations we have for them. And my biggest fear, while Rick answered first that the most important person for the Phillies in the second half is Dave Dombrowski, my confidence in Dave Dombrowski is at an all-time low as well. And that's my biggest concern with the Phillies. While he is the most important person in the organization over the next 2 weeks, my confidence that he does the job right is very slim. No. We're not making jokes about that stuff or serious conversations about that stuff. Sorry. Not happening. Come on, I would love to see Bobby Mack win. I was looking at my bets for the Open Championship, and I think Justin Rose would be my most profitable outright out of them all. But I really want Bobby Mack or Tyrrell Hatton to win this thing. Rory not doing much today either. So outside of Dave Dombrowski, who is the most important Phillies player in this second half, these final 66 games that'll get them to the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. Hell, they could finish 500, go 33-33, still have 88 wins and get to the playoffs, in my opinion. Who is the most important player for the Phillies in the second half? And I think there's a few interesting players that need to, A, turn their seasons around, but also, B, have huge second halves. Bryce Harper needs to play at an MVP level, obviously. I got to see what Justin Rose ended up getting on score here on this hole where he hit his ball and they couldn't find it. Triple bogey. God damn. That is brutal. That takes you right in contention to out of contention like that. Bryce Harper is a key guy for me. A guy that needs a second half surge, not just for the Phillies' success, but for his own career and his own confidence, is one Bryson Stott. Bryson Stott, since the first month of the season, has been straight unplayable. He still goes out there every day. He still puts the effort in, etc. Let me tell you something. Bryson Stott might be having the worst season of all Phillies at this point. And we really, really need to see Bryson Stott figure it out. You've already got other players that are inconsistent on this team. It would be major for the Phillies if he could finally pull it together. Nice par save there from Tommy Fleetwood. Rooker and Miller is the move to be made. If that happens, Phillies cruise to a championship. See, the thing is, and you're convincing me over the last couple days, this whole week, Rick. You know, I went from 100% no on Rooker and fine with Miller to now I'm on board with you on Rooker. Fine, sure. We'll figure out the defensive alignment later, right? But my confidence, not in them helping us get to a championship, my confidence in Dave Dombrowski to make a move like this, which is going to cost you 2 of your 4 top prospects at least. It's going to cost you Miller and Painter, Abel and Crawford and Abel, whatever. Some combination of those 4 guys are going to have to be traded in a deal for Rooker and Miller, right? If I was going to grade it on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 least confident, 10 extremely confident that he does this, I would say I'm somewhere in a 3 or a 4 on the confidence meter. Because I don't think he's got the guts anymore to do that. Still rooting for Seabez. We always root for Seabez because he's a Bazudenhout kind of a guy, right? Bazadenhout. I got to try to teach myself to say Bazadenhout just to fool you guys. Happy Coldplay Friday. We can talk about the Coldplay incident. That CEO of some tech company and his HR manager. It's kind of funny stuff, man. Funny stuff right there. The most important member of the Phillies is the trainer and conditioning dude. I just can't see how we keep navigating around injury. Well, we got to get Bryce Harper as close to 100% as possible, first and foremost. We got to figure out, is Bryson Stott hurt or not? Because the guy's just been dreadful. Or is he just not that good of a second baseman or hitter anymore? Got to keep the pitching staff healthy as well. That was a hell of a shot on that par 3 from Trea Hatton. That should get him to 6 under. Where does Trea Turner fall on your list of important Phillies players in the second half? Trea Turner is an extremely important player, Steve. The problem is I expect him to be effective, especially at the plate, but he's actually one of our better players anyway. Like, he should have been an all-star player if you want to go back down that route. So, like, my expectations are for him to continue to do what he's doing, which is play great baseball. Okay? It's some other guys that haven't lived up to the expectations we set for them that I'm questioning more of at this point. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking at. Anybody should be available in a Rooker-Miller trade. Absolutely. And I agree with you 1,000%. But Dave Dombrowski has seemed to lose his mojo or his cojones or whatever you want to say in making these big deals. He just doesn't do it anymore. That's all he's been known for in his career. Detroit, everywhere he's gone. Make the big, bold move, right? He has yet to do that in Philadelphia. That's right. Let's go Trea Hatton. I want Trea Hatton to win really bad. I really do. I think it'd be great for him. It'd suck to see a live guy win a major tournament, but, you know, I got quite the investment, DFS and betting on him, so I would love to see a Trea Hatton. So Steve, Trea Turner isn't the guy that I'm worried about, okay? Muchas gracias. I appreciate it. We're trying. We're trying to build it. Dude, I can't say that I stayed up to watch your show last night. I don't know what happened last night. We came home early from work, took the afternoon and night off, made some steaks, made a few drinks. Next thing you know, I was passed out. I think I'm as hungover as humanly possible today. Mind you, it's very hard to host a 90-minute podcast, and we're only 15 minutes in today, and I feel like I've been doing this for 3 hours already today because the hangover is a brutal this morning. And I don't know what, I don't even remember drinking that much, but obviously I did. No one swings and misses in baseball more than Rooker. He can't hit the upper third of the K zone and is a one-trick pony. Where is this guy doing anything besides solidifying the bench on a good team? He would be second on the team, and he's another home run hitter, basically. And look, he might have flaws in his game. And while Rick loves Rooker, I still want Quan, and I get that. But it's the big, bold move, right? It's a guy that's going to provide pop. And there are issues with the lineup if you put Rooker here, or the positions. Like, he's not going to play the field. Kyle Schwarber's not going to play the field. What do you do? And I feel like we had the Rooker conversation last deadline as well. You fight it too, dude. It's brutal. It is brutal this morning, okay? He personifies everything we get pissed off about with our own players. And I felt this way, and Rick's really pushing hard for him, so I'm leaning that way because you haven't been convincing enough anti-Rooker to keep me on your side with that, Nooms, this week. Rick's been pushing hard this week on Rooker, which is getting me on his side. I'm with you on Hatton. I got him at 28. I got him at 30-1, I believe. I just know with Hatton, the only downside to Hatton is that all he's got to do, I already saw him curse and slam his club 2 or 3 times this morning alone, is the blow-ups happen with him so much. Poor Olsen shoots 4 under first round and then goes out and makes. I saw his opening tee shot, but then I ran around, did a few things to get started for the show. Did he quad that first hole? That sucks, man. That absolutely sucks. But that's the Open Championship. Anything can happen at the Open. That's why I'm trying not to pay attention to. I have 2 or 3 lineups that are just absolutely amazing right now in DFS. And one just went from 200th place to 900th place, just like that. Why did that happen? Probably because of Justin Rose's triple bogey. Yeah, that dropped me down. Like, it's all over the place. Good morning, Duck. I was a party person last night. I don't know why. I don't know how, but I was last night. And I'm paying the price. It is going to be one long-ass day at the pizza shop. Rooker batting 279 with 106 hits. Quit hating and do your homework. Phillies have great pitching. They've lost in 3 straight playoff years due to an offense taking a nap. Now, I get it, though. I mean, Rooker is the question would come down on Rooker. Do we need another power hitter? Or do we need another guy that's going to get base hits, that's going to get on base? You know, do we need a guy like Quan? We need a guy that's going to be another Trey Turner type. I don't think it's Negadelphian. It's a difference between what style of we're debating what style of player the Phillies need. No Negadelphian about saying he likes Rooker or not. Negadelphians would be saying, well, Rooker, you know, anything with a trade is not Negadelphian. You love to call out people for being negative when they're not being negative. Pizza, great hangover food, though. Nothing like. Oh, I'll have a slice of pizza as soon as I get to work today. That first slice pie is going to come out of the oven, and I'm going to chomp down on it. Phil drank a toast to his bad Embiid take last night. I don't have bad Embiid takes. I think my Embiid takes are perfect, are spot on. All right, spot on. Just so you know. Offensive loss. We all know the offense is the problem. Nah. Nooms is honest like me. He's a realist like me. All right? Who are you taking out of the lineup? Yeah, who are you taking out of the lineup for him? And if you take Stott out of the lineup, who plays second base? Now, I do think we need to have a serious conversation about Bryson Stott. You guys know I am not an Edmundo Sosa guy. I do not think Edmundo Sosa is good enough to be an everyday player. But Bryson Stott has been so bad for such a stretch this year, such a long stretch this year. You do got to start considering playing Sosa at second base more, right? You have to. Is Bryson Stott a bad baseball player? Or is Bryson Stott just in a really bad slump and having just a bad season? I've been a big Bryson Stott fan for quite some time. What a nice long save for par for Victor Hovland there. I don't know what to do or what to think about Bryson Stott. Hatton, got to have this birdie putt here. You don't get chances like this often. Boom. Nice birdie putt. Get to 6 under, Terrell Hatton. Nice. Just come up with a plan that doesn't awaken the team as much as strengthen it, or weaken the team that strengthen it. Weaken, not strength. I got you. I don't think it kills us to bring Rooker. I think it creates an issue. And you say where he goes in the lineup. Basically, what happens is he and Kyle Schwarber will have to platoon left field. Okay? And then you would have to have Martian center field. That's the adjustment to the lineup that Rooker does. I'm going to look something up here. I want to look up his stat page, because if I see a stat page, it will also tell me position. So right now this year, yeah, he's hitting 279. He's got a 355 on base, 861 OPS. Obviously got the home runs and the strikeouts, but I want to see his positions in his career. All right, so he's played 90 games in his entire career in left field, 5 this year, 58 in right field. That's it. That's it. He's literally only played 143 games in his entire career in the field. Wow. So I don't even know if you could platoon him. You'd have to make him a left fielder right away. I thought you were saying the Phillies were too low. No. We all need a lot more coffee at this point. All of us need a lot more coffee at this point. I don't know if there's enough coffee to get us all through this show. But whoever is watching this show, make sure you hit that like button, that share button, and make sure you vote on our poll question. 66 games left. How many wins will the Phillies get or end up with this season? Make sure you're voting on the poll. Right now, the 88 to 90 range is at 22%, 91 to 94 is at 33%, as is 95 to 98, and 11%. That means one person voted 99 or more wins for the Phillies. My guess that would probably have been Rick that voted 99 or more wins. Mr. Positive right there. Man, Hao Tong Lee at 5 under. Had him in a whole bunch of lineups last week for the Genesis Scottish Open. Misses the cut. This week, I'm like, you know what? We'll fade him this week. And there he is, tied for 3. Betting and gambling on golf is extremely difficult. So difficult. But anyway, the Phillies. Still no answer from any of the viewers on what to do with Bryson Stott. Will you be upset if Bryson Stott starts to get sat occasionally for Edmundo Sosa? At the very least, a platoon situation there. Lefty-righty situation. Bryson Stott, I want to pull up his stats real quick. Bryson Stott, where are we here? Here he is. Bryson Stott is now down to a 234 batting average. His OPS is down to 637. And he's played 86 games this year. So he's played a good portion of the games this year. I'm trying to pull up more of a detailed split thing on him here. There we go. There are his month-by-month splits. His average in July so far is 167. His average in June was 202. His average in May was 216. So he has literally gone from 314 at the end of April all the way to 2:34. And it's pretty hard to watch the kid play baseball. I would have bet Kawak and Kalkinjana if I were a degenerate. He's not near the leaderboard anymore, is he? I gotta look. Is he still anywhere near the leaderboard? Oh, he hasn't teed off yet today. He's still at 3 under. That's why he's not on the leaderboard. Kalkinjana, just because he's got the same first 4 letters as you. I'm surprised you didn't change your name this week to Kalkinjana for the YouTube page, for the comments. Kind of like TMZ changes his name 75 times a week. He's awfully quiet today because we're not talking too much football. But we can talk a little bit of football if you want. Will Drew Mukuba get his deal done? Now, obviously, Alfred Collins finally signed on Wednesday night, Thursday morning. He's the second-round pick of the 49ers. Since then, Shamor Turner, Mike Green, several others have signed. So the shoe's dropping. We're up to about, I think, 6 of the second-round picks have finally made their signings. So the dominoes are falling. We figured it out. About 88% guaranteed is where the money is going. So, will Drew Mukuba be locked up by the end of the weekend? Will he be in camp on Tuesday, ready to go? He is still disrespected every single damn day. Every day. Every day. I don't take offense from Beer just trying to fire people up to watch his podcast. Yeah? Is that what it is? Look at that drive. Piped that. Terrell Hatton just piped it. Look at that thing roll down the fairway. My God, that thing is rolling. I love open championship courses, and you hit that fairway and it just rolls. Just rolls. Rose with a chance for birdie after his triple. Oh, it just slides past the hole. Man. So Drew Mukuba. And yesterday, I want to apologize. I forgot yesterday. Obviously, there was a really sad Eagles news that I forgot to mention yesterday on the show. Brian Bremen, Eagles Super Bowl champion, passed away on Wednesday, losing his battle with cancer. Obviously, an often forgotten member of the Eagles 2017 championship run and win, making a huge play in the division round with a block punt, and making a big tackle on special teams in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. It's a real sad story. And he walked off the field as a champion in 2017, retired after that. I don't understand the timing of draft pick signs. I thought these things were locked in these days. So the thing is with the draft picks, K1, I don't know who it is. I can't remember. I read it. Ed Kratz had done an article about it like a month or two ago. Somebody last year held out and got his contract fully guaranteed. So now this year, all the second-round picks want their pick. We're trying to hold out to get their. So there is very little wiggle room in draft picks. There's just language and how much to guarantee. That's the only thing that's negotiable, with these draft picks. And second-round picks want their contracts guaranteed fully. And it's been this kind of back and forth between all of them. And every second-round pick is holding out to see whoever signs first so that then they know where the bar is set. And with Alfred Collins signing at 88% guaranteed, now the dominoes are falling there. Does that make sense? I did a terrible hungover job of explaining that there. It's all about how much gets guaranteed in these contracts. Bremen made that solid tackle, absolutely. Staying in his lane. Players, special teams. Key to special teams, staying in your lane. Bremen, as far as I know, he was only diagnosed a few months ago. Yes. A very rare, aggressive form of cancer. I think he was diagnosed in February or March, and yeah, that's what happens, man. F, cancer. Actually, I'm not even going to say it. I'm going to say it. Fuck cancer. Plain and simple. I'm a good morning, little G. Hope you're good. Hungover Phil is best. No, maybe for you. Hungover Phil is not best for Phil. That is for sure. Hungover Phil is bad for Phil. That's all I'm going to say. If it not signed by August 1st, you can't play for the team until next year. If not signed by another date, you're sent back in the draft and given a first. What? I don't think this is a rule. I've never heard this before. Don't know anything about this. I do know you can get put back into the draft. I expect Drew Mukuba to be signed. And I actually do expect him to be signed, maybe not this weekend, but by Tuesday morning when players report to camp, I fully expect him to be signed. Howie's not going to let this. This is not the Washington Commanders, okay? Still without Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin speaking out and talking about how disappointed and pissed he is right now because his contract situation. Oh, you're talking baseball. Okay. Yeah. Howie Roseman runs a drama-free organization. Howie Roseman will not allow drama of a contract to creep into training camp. Oh, I missed a Bobby Mack birdie. He's up to 4 under. Yes. Boom. The fact that I got multiple guys on the leaderboard right now, on my card right now, makes me so happy. Oh, man. The ups and downs of DFS, man. Brutal. My lineups, my $24 worth of lineups was making $39 like 10 minutes ago. It's now making $24.50. The ups and downs of it. That's why you shouldn't look at your lineups in DFS for golf. What are we thinking as we are 4 days, 5 days away from start of training camp? What are we thinking of right now? Hey, we hit 550 subscribers today. How about that? 50 away from 600. Can we get there? We've only got 7 likes on this video, guys. So please hit that like button if you haven't yet. Please vote on the poll. The algo ain't crushing today. We'll say that for sure. Look, that's why, K1, if you don't play DFS golf, you are missing out. It is a 4-day roller coaster watching your lineups. Right now, I'm watching lineups to see how many 6-for-6s I'll get. That's my key right now. It's a roller coaster being a DraftKings golf fan and degenerate. I'm better at betting, but I'm a degenerate when it comes to DFS. I just can't help myself. It's so much fun. The ebbs and flows of a weekend. Man, 550 subscribers. All right. 450 to go to 1,000. The road to 1,000 is on now. Something about that 550 number really gets it going for me. But like I said, the algo ain't killing it today. I'll tell you that much. Absolutely not. I know. It's crazy. It's crazy how we were stuck at 546 for like a week, and then in 12 minutes, we jump up 3, 4 in no time. I love it. I love it. You put out like 3 shorts in the last 2 days and got 3 subs. Not too crappy. Yeah, I do. See, the funny thing is, it's like you would think the shorts would drive the subs, but it drives traffic to the page. And for some reason, let me look here. Let me go to my YouTube page real quick. A couple of these shorts. Like yesterday's shorts, I had 111 views on. The one a couple days ago got 2 of them back to back, got a combined 2,100 views. And those did not give me any subscribers. It's kind of funny how one that gets no views gets me subscribers, but the ones that don't get or do get views don't bring me anybody, if that makes sense. For the offense, the Phillies need to lengthen the lineup with just competency so that the first 5 don't get pitched around all game. Chooch and Pedro Feliz were pretty good at this. Man, I always forget about Pedro Feliz on that World Series team. Nice round for Keegan Bradley, shooting a 67, making the cut for the first time in 6 years at the Open. I got a 90-1 bet on Keegan Bradley. That would be a nice one right there. It's because of the top 10 list. Is that what it is? Yeah, we'll do. I'm working on some things for the top 10 list, so I am. You can't win friends with baseball. Well, we've been talking football for the last 10 minutes, and you haven't been listening. We've been talking about second-round picks getting their contract signed. We've been talking about the Eagles and the Washington Commanders. Did I like Shane Gillis? His ESPYs? Yeah. Look, I understand in this soft, woke world that we have that he's probably offending some people with some of his jokes. But if it's not offensive, I don't find it funny. I will say, let me ask a question. I know who Shane Gillis is. I've seen him on Saturday Night Live. I've seen a couple short clips. I've never watched a whole stand-up routine from Shane Gillis, okay? Does he always look that nervous and shaky? Like, he was, like, shaking with the mic the whole time. Was it because that's just how he is? Or was Shane Gillis nervous of that his style of comedy and his jokes were going to offend so many people that he'd get canceled? Like, I'm trying to figure out, so that is part of, the shaking and the nervous look is part of his act? That I don't know. But I'm glad to know that that's what it was, and he wasn't scared of the jokes he was saying. The ESPYs are great. I love the ESPYs. I do. Bookie, that's what Belichick reads his girlfriend before net. Exactly. But of course, the best joke or the best part of it wasn't even a joke. It's just when he said Dallas sucks, go Birds. Probably both because he was fired from Saturday Night Live. And then they invited him back to host. So yeah, he had a lot. I loved Bills Need Edge when he pointed out a girl in the audience and he said, and let's applaud 4-time NBA or WNBA All-Star, whatever the name is, right there. A round of applause for her. And then he follows it up with, dude, that's just my wife's friend. I knew you didn't know who anybody in the WNBA was. That was, to me, the best clean joke, but also the best joke of the whole night. Absolutely loved that. Thought that was great. Obviously, the little short video, pre-recorded thing that he did about the tush push was fantastic. It was a great video put together there. Him and Drewski or whatever. I was getting that was great. That was such a roast of the WNBA. It may be too expensive to grab two players from a single team, especially with more teams trying to get teased into the playoffs. Interesting. I like this question, comment, concern. Is it cheaper to go get, say, Mason Miller from the A's by himself and then go get Quan by himself from the Indians than trying to get Clase and Quan from the Indians or Rooker and Miller from the Angels? It's also going to be in a very aggressive trade deadline. There's a lot of teams still in the playoff hunt. There's a lot of teams that are going to be trying to make moves. The cost of doing business is going to be very expensive. Now, I think that Dave Dombrowski should break the bank and get these guys. What that it's hard to get two players. I mean, you see that you see multiplayer trades. Look at Bryson trying to make a little run today to make the cut. You see NBA trades. You see multiple players going in like 2-3 guys, or basketball, 2-3 guys in a trade together. You very rarely see the multiplayer trades like that happen. Period. Not just right now at the deadline. It's just not something that happens a lot. But how about I phrase it like this? Would you be disappointed if on August 1st, after the deadline, that Painter, Crawford, Abel, and Miller are all still part of the Phillies organization? Because if all four of them are still part of the Phillies organization, that means Bobby Mack, another birdie, gets it up to 5 under. God damn. It's shaping up to be a fun weekend for me. If all four of the top 4 prospects are on the Phillies card still, you know what that means? That Dave Dombrowski swung and missed at the deadline. For the big-time players. It means he went out and got another Austin Hayes. What a shot from Harris English. We don't need another Austin Hayes. We don't need another Whit Merrifield. We don't need another Carlos Estevez. Last year's Carlos Estevez, not this year's. Carlos Estevez. What we need is the big-time players. Now, I did see somebody talking about yesterday forget who it was. Would you prefer the Phillies to add one lockdown closer for sure thing? It's going to cost you a lot. Or would you rather the Phillies add 2 or 3 solid middle relievers that will improve what they have? Now, I want the solid closer, the lockdown closer. Because first and foremost, I don't want Jordan Romano anywhere near the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning in the playoffs. But also, I do realize that we need more than one arm. And if you can only get one big-time arm or 2 small arms, Gene Cabrera, Eduardo Tate, Aaron Escobar, Mick Abel are, in my opinion, most likely to be traded. Now, Abel, I know, obviously. I don't know much about Cabrera or Escobar. Eduardo Tate, though, that's a tough one for me. Because there's people saying that he's the catcher next year on this team. If you trade Eduardo Tate, don't you have to give JT Realmuto an extension then? And I don't know if giving JT Realmuto a 2 or 3 year extension is a good idea or not at this point. That's the problem with Eduardo Tate involved in a trade. What do you do with catcher next year and over the next 2 or 3 years? Now, I don't know if Tate's going to be a great catcher in the bigs or not. And prospects are just that. They're prospects. You trade them. But I think the Phillies, if they trade Tate, are put in a position where they have to keep JT Realmuto. And I'm not saying they can't keep JT Realmuto. At the right price on a 1-year deal, I'm okay with that. But if you get rid of Tate and then you lose JT Realmuto in the offseason, then you're stuck with what, Marchand and Garrett Stubbs next year? I don't know about that. I don't think Tate may be cut out for catcher. Maybe it's just some of the games I saw, but I didn't see it. I honestly, I'm just going with what I've read on Tate. And I've read a lot about his bat, not necessarily his defense, but yeah. What is July 25th? What are you talking about here? July 25th is Happy Gilmore 2.0. I can't wait for Happy Gilmore on July 25th. It took me a second. Why did I forget what July 25th is? Trust me, the day after July 26th, we will be talking about it right here on this show. Absolutely. I might do a special show just for that. There is a Mortal Kombat 2 coming. Why? Let me tell you something. I have not watched any of the new Mortal Kombats. The original one with that killer soundtrack in the 90s. Saw that. I think they did a sequel to that one that was really bad as well. So I don't know what Mortal Kombat 1 was like of this generation. But let me tell you something. I saw the Mortal Kombat 2 trailer. The teaser trailer first of just Johnny Cage. And then the trailer that dropped yesterday. Why do I want to watch it? I do. It's one of those movies that everyone's bashing. Oh, it's so bad looking, this and that, right? But here's the thing. I think it's so bad purposely. I don't think it's being taken seriously. It's one of those movies that are so bad, it's going to be so good. As long as you go in knowing it's a bad movie. Sometimes you watch a bad movie knowing it's going to be bad. And don't care. Yeah, Carl Urban. Dude, it looks fantastic. That little teaser they did, 2-minute teaser of him acting and fighting, doing all, like that was perfect. That was cinema in and of itself for me. Like that got me. I'm like, look, I'm in. I'm all in. Maybe they will try this time. I think they're trying to not try. I think they know what they are, which is a joke. You got anybody that criticizes that Mortal Kombat trailer is just doesn't know what good movies are. Bad movie. There's a place for bad movies. Guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that share button. Would greatly appreciate if you could do that for me. We are sitting at 550 subscribers. We've only got 8 likes on this video right now, which is clearly not enough. More often than not, it's the subtle trade deadline moves that get you over the top. More often than not, It's the offseason trades and signings putting you over the top. And Dave Dombrowski failed, obviously, in the offseason, for sure. Nooms made some really big missteps. And yes, the subtle moves can help, for sure. But Dave Dombrowski's subtle moves the last couple of years have not worked out. I actually don't know what trade or free agent signing in recent memory of the Phillies has really even worked out. I'm just trying to think. I'm looking at the Phillies roster right now. I mean, you have to go back to the Schwarber-Castellanos offseason. They've worked out. I guess that's it. I guess the bringing in Jesus Luzardo was a great move. Did we trade for him or did we sign him? I forget. Heard new Jurassic Park blows. Yeah, but the Jurassic Park movie brought in over $500 million its opening week. So while Jurassic Park stinks and we don't need any more Jurassic Park movies, people are still dropping their hard-earned money to go see it. I won't spend money. I'll wait till it's on free TV. But of course I'll watch it when it's on free TV. I mean, I went to the original Jurassic Park in the movie theaters. Hey, that's how old I am. You should make a YouTube short in praise of bad movies. Yeah. Maybe. Bad movies that are great. Yeah. Sometimes a Chapman will get you a ring, but those aren't the norm. Yeah, I don't even want Chapman. You're talking about the closer, right? Don't even want him. Hoyard pours it in to get to 500. There are a lot of guys at 500, 600. Hatton must have made a bogey. He was at 6. He's at 5 now. Luzardo was a trade for Cabrera Tate level prospects. Okay. So it was a trade. I couldn't remember what that move was. I guess the Luzardo move is probably the best move Dombrowski's made over the last, I don't know how long. Ballparking it there. But see, the thing is, Dave Dombrowski's backed himself into a corner with so many missteps in the bullpen this offseason, mainly Corky Romano, that he has no choice but to be aggressive. A little ancillary trade here or there is not good enough because of what, and again, this also goes back to, not that he was pitching amazing, he was pitching really well, but not amazing. Reminding everybody that a portion of our bullpen issues are Jordan Romano. But a portion of our bullpen issues are because Jose Alvarado fucked this team pretty bad. That's the problem. People forget to blame Jose Alvarado for screwing this team. Taking his personal stuff over the team. Aroldis Chapman is a great closer still, even at this age, I think. I haven't looked at his numbers recently, but I did like a month ago. But see, isn't Aroldis Chapman, didn't he beat his girlfriend or something like that? I would take his skill set over Romano. I would take Rick over Jordan Romano at this point. But Chapman did something really bad, and I can't remember what it was. And I hate those kind of players. We have left-handed starting pitching. That's the highest market value. Rick and Nooms agreeing on something? Wow, how about that? Look, we need a closer. But anyway, even if you go get Chapman or Mason Miller or Clay, or however you say his name from the Indians, who actually believes that Rob Thomson would actually make him the closer regularly? Because Rob Thomson doesn't like a set closer. You don't go out and get a closer. We talked earlier, most important people to step up in the second half. If you don't go get a closer, does that put Ryan Kirkring on the most important to step up list. Kirk Green has had a really, really strong stretch lately. I'm pulling up his splits right now. He's got his ERA down to 2.78 right now. I'm pulling up his month by month. He's got a 6 ERA in the month of July. Oh, he's only given up 2 runs, though. It's too much. Yeah, I can't look at that. His .82 ERA in the month of June. Wow. Kirk Green's gotten better, for sure. Got 2 saves. .87 in May, .82 ERA in June. Wow. Kirk Green's actually done way better than I realized. We are back to the topper problem. That's why yesterday's poll question is a World Series appearance an absolute necessity for Topper to keep his job? And Dave Dombrowski. And I definitely believe the Phillies have to get to the World Series or you have to make a decision on Topper. Because wins and losses in the regular season at this point don't matter. It's winning that championship. And how he manages his team. Now, I will say there was a feeling earlier this year that he was losing this team. But I kind of feel like that's kind of subsided and everything seems to be back to okay. I don't think there's enough coffee in here to get me through another 40 minutes of this show. This Phillies team, organization, is really on the precipice of either going on a great run, winning a World Series and whatnot, or completely just falling apart. And the next 66 games, followed by the playoffs, there's a lot of people's careers, reputations. Oh, my God, Bryson on 14. Just stuck it within 2 feet. He's going to get himself inside the cut line, isn't he, Bryson? I love to say it. Love to say it. And this is shaping up to be a great weekend of golf. Kirk needs to show at least 2 consecutive games where he delivers in actual game-ending high leverage. Yeah. But see, the thing is, I got his game-by-game thing. See, unfortunately, it doesn't say what innings he comes in. That's the only thing when I look at his game log, it doesn't say what innings. So he's got 2 holds, non-hold situations, hold situation, save situation, hold. It's because Dave Dombrowski, Rob Thomson does not leave one person in a set role in the bullpen. And maybe it's old school thinking, but relief pitchers do want to know what their role is, right? Relief pitchers, even today in 2025, do care knowing about what their role is, right? Rob Thomson likes to use certain guys in different situations, whether it's the 7th, 8th, 9th inning. It's why when the playoffs rolled around last year, we saw Jose Alvarado coming into games in the 6th inning at times. That goes back to the Topper problem, right? How can he get confidence in high leverage situations when he's not given 3, 4, 5 games in a row to prove what he's capable of? One game, he does great. The next game, he's in the 7th, and he gives up a run. Kirk has been solid, but he cannot be the best you've got. I absolutely agree with you. And that's why I'm saying if Dave Dombrowski doesn't go out and get a Chapman, a Miller, a Class A, that puts a lot of pressure on Kirk Green and Matt Strahm to exceed what their expectations are. To be great, they're going to have to be the best of the best. That's why it's so imperative that Dave Dombrowski adds a bullpen piece or 2 or 3 or 4. That's the problem we're getting at here. Kirk Green might become a closer at some point in his career. Kirk Green shouldn't be the closer right now. But Kirk Green, as the roster stands, is the best option to be a closer. Strahm looks like his stuff is starting to come out of it stuff-wise. But Matt Strahm, to me, is just as Kirk Green. Matt Strahm should never be closing games. Let me pull up his stats real quick. Give me a second. I reset back to something different there. Let's pull up Matt Strom's numbers here. I can't even find him on the list. There he is. He's got his 3.28 ERA on the year. I want to see his game-by-game logs here is what I'm looking for here. There it is. His ERA in the month of June was 3.6. He had 3 saves and a blown save that month. 4.76 in May. So he's gotten better. He's gotten a slight improvement. He's got more saves, 6 saves than I think he should have. He hasn't given up a run yet this month. So he's getting better. He's improving on his stuff. But again, is Matt Strom a closer? Is Matt Strom somebody? Right now, is there somebody on the Phillies roster? It is 3-2. Bottom of the 9th in the World Series. Game 7. I mean, it's probably Zach Wheeler coming out for that situation, honestly. Is there a pitcher in our bullpen that you are confident, 100%, without a doubt confident, in a tough situation in the bullpen in the playoffs with the game on the line? I find it hard to have that confidence in any of them. I really, truly do. For a while, Strom's slider was so flat, as was his cutter. It has been better lately, even when the end results. Yeah. Get that. But I still don't want him. Just like you say, Kirk cannot be the best you've got. Strom can't be the best you got. Strom gets a lot of Ks. Let's see here. He's got 44 Ks this year on like 38 innings. So yeah, that's fine. It's still, Strom should be your 7th inning guy or your lefty that comes out of the pen. He needs to be your J.C. Romero or who's the guy we had after that? Kirkland can be your Madsen. Who's the Brad Litch? Who's the Mitch Williams? Well, not that, Mitch Williams' end result was great in Philly, but you know what I mean. The Phillies bullpen has serious issues at this point that needs to be addressed. That was a hell of a shot by Fleetwood. Look at that. That thing, slow down. Same with Painter in Lehigh Valley. His secondary pitch command is improving a lot. And yeah, and Andrew Painter, some will say that Andrew Painter is, washed or whatever, just not good. People are bashing Andrew Painter for all the wrong things. He's working on those secondary pitches right now, getting himself ready for when his eventual debut happens. Now, I'm still in the department of saying that you might as well just leave the guy in AAA all year. You're only giving him so many innings anyway this year. At this point, what's the point of calling him up? Especially if you don't want to put him in the bullpen. Just let him continue working on his stuff all year and then have him ready to go next year in our rotation. Aaron Nola should be back sooner rather than later. You've already got a plethora of pitching right now. Just leave, unless an injury to somebody else in the rotation happens, you might as well just leave Andrew Painter in AAA for the season. Let him keep working on his thing. This 14th hole, man, people are just throwing darts at it. That's just at least my opinion on Andrew Painter. Heck, at this point, if they needed somebody to spot start, I'd rather them call Mick Abel back up than go Andrew Painter. At this point. Why not? Right? Chris Goddard, the Genesis Scottish Open winner for Eagle. It goes right in. Gets under par for the championship. Gotta love some Chris Goddard right there. Duran and Jackson from Minnesota could be a dual trade for the Phillies to add to the bullpen. So none of those guys are going to be your 100% for sure every 9th inning closer. But Duran and Jackson from Minnesota, you bump Jordan Romano out of the bullpen. Your bullpen as a whole is better. And honestly, and as I think of this, I complain that Rob Thomson doesn't have defined roles for each relief pitcher, right? But maybe it's smarter to go get two guys like Duran and Jax, because then that you're giving Rob Thomson the tools he needs for his style to succeed. Does that make sense? Like you're instead of giving him a lockdown closer that's not going to be used as a closer, and that's going to throw him off, like an Estevez last year, go get him two guys that can pitch in the 6th, 7th, or 8th inning. And you continue to just let him go by feel each game. Does that make sense, Rick? And that's kind of what Duran and Jax would give you. And they're both major improvements on Cookie Romano. Good morning, Brian Pumpman. Thanks for this beautifully negative comment right here. Really puts me in puts hangover Phil in such a great mood to see this and read it. Phillies sucking and Embiid sucks. Look, you guys got to show, and I think Rick is slightly turning the corner. You guys got to show a little empathy towards Joel Embiid. The dude poured his heart out in that interview. Give him a little bit of love. Nola does have a chance to reverse some narratives where it becomes a Hurts-like situation, but any injury attached to your core, especially on a pitcher, has to be completely addressed. Absolutely. Yep. Still underappreciated, Jalen Hurts, of course. Absolutely. Guys, it's the top of the hour. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Hit that share button. And, of course, subscribe. Please vote on our YouTube poll. Phillies have 66 games left. How many wins will they finish with? It's pretty much neck and neck on the poll right now. Not that there's been too many votes because not too many people are watching today. But we're still plugging along. For the dozen of you that are here, we're still plugging and chugging along. We have 9 likes only on this video. That means a couple of you haven't done it. Stop it, Phil. Only poured his heart out being ranked 84th. I know how this guy operates. Look, has Joel Embiid been a disappointment in Philadelphia? Absolutely. But you know what? We complain that he doesn't give us enough information, that he's very reserved and quiet. But yet when he's open and talks honestly, we complain that he's making excuses. And then we wonder why he doesn't talk or give us much information. We can criticize Joel Embiid, but we can't criticize how open he was in that article, in my opinion. Joel Embiid is suffering. We forget that athletes are human beings. He is suffering up here just as much as physically. And yet people still want to crush on him. How's he acting well with Embiid? He's just being honest. Don't you want your athletes to be honest? He was honest in that interview. Oh, yeah, Phil, we will see. What? What are we going to see? That's what I say. Leave him alone. Honestly, I said this yesterday. I'm going to say it again today. I don't think Joel Embiid steps on the court this year. So just let him be. Let him enjoy his money. Let him enjoy whatever he's doing. Let him try to have a good quality of life post-NBA career. I firmly believe Joel Embiid will not step on the court this year for the 76ers. Notice I said 76ers. But again, if he's so frustrated with the Sixers organization, why is he still here? Now you can't trade him. There have been plenty of opportunities in the last 5 years that he could have been traded. And he didn't want to be traded. It's crazy. I want the same. Leave us Sixers fans alone. Go away, dude. See, the man has suffered enough. Anyway, I mean, look, let the guy go off, do his thing with Arthur and his drop-dead gorgeous wife, and have a great life. I don't get the criticizing him today and yesterday because of the article. You can criticize him for a lot of things, but what he said in the article, I don't think could be criticized. Unless it was AI generated, just like K1's AI generated, right? Yeah. Maybe he does care about soccer more than basketball. Okay? because the Sixers organization has zapped any love of the game he had left. The pain and frustration of playing and trying to get healthy has taken everything out of him. I saw my man Sean Bernard put something up. I wonder if I could find it. Give me 1 second. He doesn't tweet that much. I could find this really quickly. Here's Sean Bernard's Twitter page. You guys know the guys that have spent the most years with Joel Embiid in his career? Robert Covington, Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, Paul Reed all played 4 years with him. Third on the list of most seasons with Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey and Shake Milton. Second on the list most years with Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris. Do you know who the only Sixer was to play with Joel Embiid for more than 6 years? Furkan Korkmaz. Continuity does matter against popular belief. The longest tenured player the Sixers gave Joel Embiid was Furkan Korkmaz. I have been very critical of Joel Embiid over the last year or so. I was very not critical of him early in his career. Then I got very critical. But I'm not criticizing him and being critical of him because of the article. The article told me that we got to just let him be. Back off on him a little bit. Give him that space he needs to get healthy, to get right mentally. I'm not being completely saying that Joel Embiid doesn't have any blame. I'm not just doubling down and pushing harder on Joel Embiid because I could see and read and hear the mental pain that he's going through right now. We forget these athletes, whether they're superstars or not, they're human beings, and they hurt. Maybe we should shock the nation, defy the Philly stereotype, and be empathetic. Exactly. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm talking about. Do like we did with the Trea Turner standing ovation and build up, not tear down. And see, I love that you've thought about it a little bit more, and you've done this 180 on this topic. Because yesterday you were on the Brian side of it. I appreciate you thinking a little bit more about it. Now, I didn't agree with the standing ovation for Trea Turner, but that's another subject. Be empathetic. Show some empathy. It's a lot of fork. The fact that Korkmaz is the guy that he's played the most with in his career is crazy. Hey, the Turkish MJ, man, played with the swag of MJ and the skill set of me. He's a 32-year-old grown man. We hate on the Sixers fans for babying the guy, and y'all are doing the same. Nobody's babying him. I'm babying him, maybe. But you're just taking a guy that's broken down mentally and trying to break him down even more. It doesn't change the fact. But the way we're talking, Brian, about Joel Embiid is not saying that he gets a pass when he has a bad game or gets a pass from not putting the work in. We're giving him a pass to get right. Literally, everybody is fragile in some way, Brian. Maybe not you. Maybe you're the strongest, toughest mental man out there. But everybody's got problems. And I'm just giving him a little bit of a breather. I'm reading it and seeing the human side of Joel Embiid after the article. Because there is a human side of things too. And that's the thing. That's what I'm targeting right now in this conversation. The human side. Not the basketball side, the human side of things. It's all I'm looking at. The human side. Still Brian Harmon at 7 under. God damn. Really need a Brian Harmon collapse here, Steven Fuentes. Look at this. Downhill 142, major downhill shot here. Probably playing like 120 this shot. Just a little baby half swing there. Yeah, we'll have another par at worst. If he cares about the fans, he should just retire. Brian, I'll say this. I guarantee, 1,000% guarantee, that he has contemplated retirement. I guarantee it. Now, Joel Embiid is also a very proud man and has talked about before about wanting to his legacy to be a certain level, about caring about how he's remembered. And I think that that's probably the only reason why he hasn't retired yet. One AI generated comment from an AI generated listener of this show, you, and you get me all fired up. And yes, I've gone soft. Okay. I guess so. Beating guys down mentally ain't tough. Not everybody you see has a sign hanging from the cell saying, I'm hanging on by a thread. Absolutely. And that's the thing. We forget the mental side of being an athlete. A lot of athletes out there are constantly, I don't listen to the media. I don't listen to what social media is saying. But they all know. They all hear it. They all see it. Any athlete that says that they ignore all the noise on the outside is completely lying. Jalen Hurts hears all the criticism he gets. Jalen Hurts heard Brian Pumpman years ago with all the criticizing of him. And you'd be lying if you said to yourself that they don't hear it, that it doesn't affect them a little bit. Sometimes they use it for motivation. Sometimes they don't. But we clearly have information that he is a beaten down guy mentally, like Rick says here. Okay? We know he's broken down mentally. I think Pumpman is saying he prefers the Lane Johnson approach to addressing personal struggle. Well, let's break down Lane Johnson's situations. Let's talk about Lane Johnson. Lane Johnson right now is very open about his mental struggles. Okay? But Lane Johnson wasn't always open and perfect in dealing with it. I mean, didn't he run away from the team at one point? Didn't they have to send Big Dom looking for him? Yeah, Embiid could afford it. There's also a stigma about therapy still. It's getting better, but there is. And maybe he was worried about the stigma. He didn't want anybody to find out he was going to a therapist. Dear Phil, if these athletes get up at 5 and don't go to a vicious day work, do they get shut? What? Lane Johnson is available to play. Never got respect for bullies, though. These tough critics are probably the softest. Yeah, look, I don't think Brian is being a bully, so to speak. I think he's very strongly opinionated on something, and maybe I'm just not understanding Brian's angle he's taking in this. But I strongly believe that we just need to leave him alone, Joel Embiid. If he plays, great. If he doesn't play, whatever. No pressure. Just like Joel Embiid said in the article, I'm not pushing it. I'll come back when I'm healthy. I've already been criticizing him this offseason before the article, saying, I don't think he'll be ready, this and that, and whatever. I'm moot on him now. Whatever. Let him be. Will he be a big disappointment? 20 years from now, when we look on Joel Embiid's career, say he doesn't play again or he barely plays, it'll be one of those big what ifs in Philadelphia sports history. Brandon Brooks dealt with mental issues and was open about, and I have a ton of respect for that. Seems like it helped him a lot in the long run. Right, so Brandon Brooks was open about his struggles. Lane Johnson has been open about his struggles. Joel Embiid opens up about his struggles, and we're breaking them down on it. And then we wonder why certain times athletes aren't open to the media and the fans. Because sometimes when they're honest, Fans don't like it. I think Rick's being very, very easily to be understood. Another birdie attempt for Justin Rose. Justin Rose making a comeback after that triple bogey, man. He was 3 under, went to even, now back to 2 under. Got a mad respect for Justin Rose today. Triple bogey and a bogey in his card. He's still 2 under. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. We wonder why athletes aren't open. Now, this is a fair comment, I think. Joe doesn't need to apologize for anything, but he's got to own his decisions. Now, I get this, and I understand this. And I think this is a very, very fair statement, okay? Yeah, look, I did what I did. It didn't work out. I made things worse. My bad. But again, Joel Embiid probably feels even more hurt now that he did open up. And he's getting criticized. If I got fired on the streets if Embiid don't go to work, it is what it is. You're not a basketball player. You're not an NBA star. If you were an NBA player, you would too. As we got a dozen people watching, there's not a dozen likes. Please, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, share, and vote on the poll question. The killed algorithm today. Let's try it. At the 5. Next week, we're back to football on this show. Monday, training camp preview. Tuesday, training camp preview. Wednesday, first day of training camp review. It's so great to be back to football. It'll make this show so much easier to do. Talking football every day. Phillies start this weekend, against the Angels are coming to town. I know a lot of Phillies fans are going to be looking at this game, hoping that's a preview of seeing Mike Trout coming to Philly. I hope it's not, but I know a lot of Phillies fans are going to talk about that. Let's see what Mike Trout's numbers are now this year. We'll also get to see Logan O'Hoppe this weekend. So got his average at 238, 17 homers, 41 RBIs. His average has gone up a little bit. So he had a good run the last month or so. Yeah, he's hitting 273 in July. He's gotten his average up a little bit. Good for him. Good for him. I know. Less than 1 week till we get back about complaining about Jalen Hurts and whether he's good or not, basically. Critiquing his everyday stats in training camp. Phil, do you to CB? What? I don't know what that means. Don't tell Joe the truth will set him free. The truth will set you free. Oh, Bobby Mack, what the hell did you do there? Saw somebody in that spot yesterday. That's a tough spot. Just like that, things change. Quan and Klaus are definitely a possibility, but would rather Rooker and Miller. Look, I mean, if we're going to go the route, how about this, Rick? You go get Duran and Jax in one deal, and then you go get Quan in another deal. Because, again, you're giving Dave Dombrowski what he prefers, which is just a bullpen by committee, and you're improving that bullpen. How does that sound? And Quan gets me the type of outfielder, gold glove outfielder, and base hit guy that I need. Yeah, exactly. Tony Finau making some noise. He's absolutely. He's in one of my lineups. At least one of my lineups this week. Forget which one, but he's definitely in a lineup. I love fifth place Finau. Fifth place Finau, man. Gotta love him. So, where are we at here in the final 10 minutes of this show today? We've talked Phillies, expectations, what they need to do to be successful, to reach the ultimate goal of getting to the World Series or being champions, like Rick claims. We have gotten back into this Joel Embiid conversation here late in the show again. Just have some empathy towards him this weekend. If you don't have something nice to say about Joel Embiid, just keep it to yourself right now. Guys, anybody that thinks Jalen Hurts is not a good quarterback is just an idiot. Just plain and simple. So we're not even going to discuss what Jalen Hurts is good or not good at. Jalen Hurts is the man. Jalen Hurts is going to win the MVP of the NFL this year. Mark it down right now. That's what's going to happen. We're talking that, obviously. Next week's training camp. Drew Mukuba, will he be there on Tuesday? I expect him to be there. Let's see if I missed any other notes this week at all. I think I've got all my notes covered this week. Don't think we missed anything. And we're got the Open Championship. Can Bobby Mack, Terrell Hatton, bring it home for me. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much, Rick. Pretty much. Yeah, be nice or shut the bleep up. Look, I'm beginning to think more and more that K1 is an AI-generated person. I'm really, really beginning to believe that about you, K1, that you are not a real person. Although I will say, I went to go find you on YouTube, one of your comments, so I can say something about Seabez yesterday. And I had no idea you have a YouTube channel with like 18 subscribers. And on it, you've got a playlist of chess stuff. And I was like, what in the holy hell is this? You really do like your chess, don't you? Tracking stats? Well, track this stat right here. The Eagles are champions and are going to remain champions, okay? Because they have a Super Bowl MVP quarterback. Just so you know. Let's talk the real things that matter. Wins, championships, titles. That's the stat that matters. Anybody that tells me that wins aren't a quarterback stat means that they have a losing quarterback, a loser of a quarterback. That's all that means. Anyway, chess is a real sport, son. Hey, again, Grandmaster champion right here. You wouldn't believe it by saying it. Big Al wanted to do an online poker tournament with the Core 12. I want to do an online chess tournament with the Core 12. I'd take you, K1. No problem. No problem. Okay? And you'll be as shocked as everybody else. Oh, that guy's actually smarter than he looks. You'd be shocked. Shocked. Anyway, notebooks are closed for the day. We're going to sit here and we're going to BS for 5 more minutes. The polls, I'm over the poll for the day. I'm over the algorithm for today. It is what it is. At least we're up to 550 subscribers. Something good, right? Sit at K1 board and you will get what? Like, do you not understand what you type sometimes? Like, because I don't understand what you type. You need to start doing some spell checking and some grammar checking on what you type in the comments. What a birdie putt from Rory. Rory making some news at the Open Championship. Let's take a final look here at the Open Championship leaderboard here at this point. Where's the cut line right now? Cut line's still at 2. Bryson's within that. Nice. Bryson, 5 under today. Gotta love to see that. Golf is better when Bryson's playing well. Matt McNeely's +3 today. Neiman is +3. Sergio Garcia inside the plus cut line. Love that. I called a Sergio make the cut this week. Phil Mickelson's at even par overall. Hovland's at even par overall. What else do we got here? Lee Westwood at -1 early in his round. JT and Jordan Spieth are both at -1. Aaron Rai at -1. All right. We got some exciting stuff here. Seabez fell to +2 today, so -2 overall. Scottie hasn't even gotten out in the course yet. Some very, very interesting stuff. Most people are smarter than they look. Well, I look stupid, so you understand? Well, maybe I'm just stupid. Most people are also dumber than they look. That's true. It's a good point. Phil making the cut, Phil. He is at this point. I don't know. He's going to have a solid day. Did I go over? We briefly touched on the CEO drama. We did. Very, very interesting thing. Yes, have a great weekend. Next week, we're back to football, baby. We're back to lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of football. What an attempt for a birdie there from Bryson. It's always what it is. Go Birds, right? Always what it is. Terrell Hatton. Let's see what he does here on this tee shot on 17. I see where the target line is. He's fading it back that target line. That should be a good-looking tee shot right there. Should get some nice roll out of it. I don't even see it. The problem with the Open Championship simply is just that the cameras over there are just terrible. They don't track golf balls very well. Not well at all. But anyway, I'm so pissed at Hao Tong Lee. Considering how many lineups and things I had with him last week when he missed the cut. And said, well, he missed the cut last week. He's not going to make it this week. Little did I know. He'd be at 6 under at the top, second place alone. That's the Open Championship, baby. This is what happens at the Open. Whose group's teeing off now here on 1? That's Fitzpatrick right there. Who else is in this group? I don't even know who else is teeing off here in this group here. The cameras at the Open is terrible. The announcing at the Open is also not that good either. But it is what it is. Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap this baby up for the day. We're going to get started for the weekend here. Hopefully we have some big wins this weekend with the Open Championship. Oh, Hideki. My boy Decky in blue today. Where's Decky at in the tournament right now? Let's see. Does it even say where he's at? What's his number? Not even sure how Hideki did yesterday. Didn't see him on the leaderboard. Can't even find him on here. There he is, +3. Gotcha. +3. Anyway, guys, it's time to wrap it up. I'm going to go watch golf. I'm going to go to work today. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for another great week. Let's try to get out there and like and share and subscribe and find some new people. Jam-packed next week. Pardon the hungover Phil today. My bad. I'm ready to roll with it. Ready to roll with it. Everybody have a great day. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll talk Monday. It's football time next week, guys. Go Birds. Bubbles up.